2 or 3 days before Robbie Keane signed for Inter Milan, my brothers told him, look, Robbie, I think you're a really good player, but you're not a top.
Hello, this is Reminding You Why You Love Football, a Mundial podcast. My name is Seb White. I'm the co-founder of Mundial and editor at large. And this week I will be the host, as the usual host, Owen Blackhurst, is taking some very well-deserved time off. I'm joined by the usual gang, the crew, features editor James Bird.
Good day.
And producer Tommy Stewart.
Are we the crew? Is that what you call us to people?
Yeah, KRU.
My crew?
Yeah, KRU. Yeah, that sort of crew. That's yeah.
You're Alexandra?
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, just a bit of a disclaimer before we start today's proceedings. We are doing this a little bit ahead of time. We've got an awful lot on. We sit here now and we've got Trafalgar Square to come and we've got Hotel Mundial to come. So this is an episode that we're doing now to be put out in July sometime. And so there will be no mention of the Euros, because I know even though we are a timeless podcast, usually, we do sometimes speak about recent happenings and goings on, but there'll be no mention of the Euros. There will be no mention of the election. Just the disclaimer, we won't be talking about maybe what you've seen in recent weeks. We would have done, when this time it comes out, we would have done Trafalgar Square, we'd have done Hotel Mundial. We'll be having a rest somewhere probably, so this is why we're recording it now. Ooh. All previous episodes are available wherever you get your podcasts from. There's over 56, 57.
Yeah.
Blimey. So there's a lot there. There's a lot on YouTube as well, so please check that out. If you enjoy this podcast and you've never left a review, now is the time to change that. Go and leave a review. It makes a big difference for us. We can see the numbers are increasing, which is good. We need to increase them a bit more. And one of the ways we can make that happen is by having more reviews. And that helps the algorithm and all these
and
things.
Whoever writes the best one gets a staff writer job, don't they?
Yeah.
Is that still open?
Well,
that's still a thing. I just heard you two talking about it before.
True. Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I mean, it would certainly be an opening salvo for any potential new opportunity. But yeah.
A staff writer would be brilliant.
Yeah. Very good. Very, very good. We're going to remind you why I love football. We are an award-winning podcast, which is 4.9 on Apple, 5-star on Spotify, and we are part of the Acast Creator Network, and we are absolutely going to remind you why you love football and a whole lot more in the next hour or so.
Give it to him, Sebby.
Whee! You're shit!
Like Springsteen, Born to Run.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. Sorry, I've just said something's really good and I wrote it last night. So how arrogant of me.
God, I'm good.
Yeah, God, I'm good. I mean, it was 11 o'clock and I was very tired, but sometimes the creative...
Oh, dear old boy.
Oh, it just happens, doesn't it? I don't do this for 10 years and not be very good at shit like this.
That sounds like that impression that Goldie always does on his Instagram.
Goldie? Oh, I don't know this.
Goldie's Instagram.
Oh, I'll have to follow this.
Oh, I mean, it's exactly as you'd imagine. But, he does all sorts of different character acts. I can't remember his name.
I'm going to...
He puts a fake moustache on and he'll be, in the kitchen
does
being
he?
Incredible. This is how I like to make my coffees in the morning. He's a complete yoga nut as well now. He does 3 hours of yoga a day. I think he lives in... Or he's been living in Southeast Asia.
Proper super hands.
Yeah,
but
completely clean and
wow.
And
is he?
I know a good friend of mine knows Goldie very well and counts Goldie as one of his mentors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have to investigate this. I have to give that a follow.
Yeah, he's really, really sort of helped my friend out in a number of situations.
Wow.
Can I say
and also Wolverhampton's finest. Another brilliant export of Wolverhampton.
I had no fucking idea it's from Wolverhampton.
Goldie?
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah. He's Wolverhampton. Wolverhampton born.
Is he a Wolves fan?
Yeah.
Billy Wright, Goldie, James Bird.
He DJ'd
Robert
with
Pott.
Beverly Knight, and Beverly Knight was wearing a Wolves shirt at the Commonwealth Games closing ceremony.
Do you know about the Beverly Knight thing?
I don't know if he ever took Bjork back to Wolverhampton when they were briefly dating.
They were, weren't they? That was a big thing, wasn't it, at the time? That was a big thing. Anyway, we move on to what had happened on the day this podcast is released and the few days that follow it, the week that follow it. There's been some monumentous events in history, right?
Oh, yeah.
Monumentous. But what I would say is on July the 5th, which is the day after this podcast is released, two great British institutions were created. In 1948, on July the 5th, the NHS was born.
Yes. Up the NHS.
And let's fight and continue to fight for that as long as we possibly can. But 48 years before that, in 1900, there was another great British institution. Oh, just so British and so brilliant and so amazing. What was it? Any ideas?
1900.
1900. A great British institution.
Ironborough.
No, and when I say institution, it is in, and we rarely talk about football on this podcast, but it is football related.
The Football Association.
No. It's a
Yeovil.
British institution.
Yeovil.
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't want to.
Celtic.
No.
I don't
I can see what you thought. You think I was taking the piss. No.
I don't want to call Liverpool a great British institution, but they probably are.
I'm being really literal here. A great British institution. I mean,
The 2012 GB Olympics team were created.
You're not far away though from it.
Oh,
2012 Olympics.
Danny Boyle was born.
No. Quick.
Sorry.
2012 Olympics. Football. They love being British.
The Welsh.
No. Maybe I've made this too. Maybe this isn't as obvious as I thought. A football team.
Yeah.
Rangers.
No. But go down. Think of the English version.
Irons.
Yes. The team that had a minute's silence for Dame Vera Lynn when she died. The team that had a Union Jack on its centenary shirt.
The World Cup winners themselves.
Exactly, they won the World Cup, didn't they? They won the World Cup.
It.
They helped stop the war with
brave boys,
Dame Vera Lynn, the team that Barbara Windsor supported.
They
You know,
did.
can you get any more British than that?
No.
I mean, Stan James must have supported them as well, and with his funny laugh, and you know.
I think they did.
Yeah.
I think he did.
And you know, they moved their ground. They moved from Upton Park, and they did it by celebrating and having a night of black cabs driving around the pitch with different legends. This is how British they are. They are.
I would argue, as someone in the north, this is how London they are.
Yeah, but British London, black cabs.
It's the American
Big
version
Ben.
of Britain.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Andy Carroll,
Sam
Allardyce.
There's going to be some stickers in the vicinity of the Olympic Stadium that has a picture of a Spitfire and says something about when the country had bollocks. West Ham Irons or something like that. There's going to be that. That's fine, isn't it? You know, we do know some very nice West Ham fans. I'm not.
We
do. But
big them up. Sam Delaney.
Yeah. So they So the NHS and West Ham United, two great British institutions that we should continue to fight for long into the future.
I have a soft spot for West Ham because of that team. I would describe them as the Soccer AM team because they just dominated the showboat every week. Joe Cole, Di Canio, Trevor Sinclair.
Our mate Joe Cole.
Our mate Joe, our best mate.
Anyway, so there's a lot happening in this week, this early week in July. But yes, James, I want to talk to you about this because this jumped out at me.
Oh.
In 1996, also on the same day that the NHS was created and West Ham were born in 1900,
1996.
Dolly the sheep became the first cloned mammal. Now, is that a thing for you? Is that too early for you? It must be 1996. How old are you in 96?
5. Seb.
5. Okay.
It's 5.
So
what we're going to talk about a little bit later isn't much further ahead. I think the mind expands a lot in those 2 or 3 years.
But it was huge. Dolly the sheep thing was fucking massive in 1996.
Well, what did you do about it?
Just sort of read about it and just went, yeah, okay, they've cloned a sheep. Yeah, doesn't sound great. But,
Whatever next.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
I do not know.
It's amazing what they can do these days, honestly. If they can clone sheep, I don't want to know what they can do next.
Whatever next.
No, I don't want... No, keep me out of it. It's too far. It's too far.
Flying vehicles, man. Do you think they'll be able to fly? They already can, Seb.
They can. Well, of course, Yeovil, famous for his helicopters, but people would just walk down the street going, oh my God. Metal dragons.
Metal dragons.
which
is part of Mundial lore, actually.
Mundial folklore, which we won't go into. But okay, so James, I shouldn't have asked you something about when you were 5. So maybe is there something else for you that jumps out on this list that isn't when you were 5 years old?
The first ever fireworks, 1777.
Yeah.
Well, I love fireworks.
You love fireworks.
It's not just what it's not necessarily the watching them for me.
Okay.
It's the setting them. It's the setting them off, because every bonfire night we used to go around to my nan's, who had a slightly bigger garden than ours, and my dad would buy a dodgy box of fireworks, or we'd go to Sainsbury's and buy them, and we'd set them off. And my mum would just constantly be going, "Be careful! Be careful! What are you doing?" Yeah. So I recently went away with my friends for one of my friends' 30th birthdays, and I thought I'd continue the family tradition of bringing a dodgy box of fireworks. And it was in Cornwall, on top of a cliff. It was in October, so it was not warm and it was not dry. But I was like, come on, everyone, stop it. Everyone's going like, no, James, we don't want to. It's dangerous. Like, Matilda's pregnant. They're not very...
We weren't going to fire her, were we?
Well, no, but the problem is that the wind from the cliff sweeping in from the Atlantic did mean that there were a couple of clothes missing. One of my friends was crying by the end of it.
Oh, for God's sake. This is good. I'm
part of the woke brigade.
Probably. Yeah.
I was still fairly adamant. I was like, come on, I've got a couple of Roman candles left, 2 rockets, a Catherine wheel.
Just an addendum to this conversation, Seb has put on the script, can we all agree that fireworks are just a bit shit?
Well... Tommy,
this doesn't sound
well. He loves it. He loves it.
And the ending to this story is that I had to go into the attic the other week, and just above, we haven't got a proper attic. It's just like a false.
This is your attic.
Ceiling above the bathroom in my flat. Opened it up, moved the half-empty paint tins out of the way, and lo and behold, what was there? The leftover half a box of fireworks they hadn't set off yet.
Good idea to keep those things stored in your room.
I could bring them Hotel Mundial.
Yes. Well, you would have brought them to Hotel Mundial. They would have been set off, and one of us would One of us would have suffered horrific burns.
Thank you for everyone coming.
Burns victim.
Thank you for everyone coming to Hotel Mundial. We're really, really sorry that one of our employees...
Seb White, rest in peace.
So there you go.
Don't want to jinx it. No. I just remember with fireworks, similar to James, like getting dodgy ones and just doing them in the garden rather than going to, we always used to do it ourselves because there was fucking 5 kids. I remember my granddad... lighting the firework at the back, and he always had a cigarette in his mouth.
Good.
I just remember him I remember him lighting his cigarettes off the fucking fireworks just to show off. Yeah. But one time, the Bunce family were around. I think Dave, who I bumped into.
Oh, Steve.
Steve Buncey. Buncey. No, sadly not Buncey. But I bumped into them recently. Dave Bunce was the best footballer in my team, and I bumped into him in Manchester recently. But anyway, the Bunce family were there. There's 3 lads, and then there was us 5 as well. There's loads of kids and families about in that. One of the fucking fireworks fell over and just went... Past, Mum had to push me and the youngest Bunce lad out the way.
Oh, blimey.
It's still stuck in the, the end of it. You can still see it in our house.
Like a bullet hole. Like a bullet hole when I went to Normandy and saw all these bullet holes.
If that had hit one of us, we're gone. We're gone.
But you're here, so that's the main thing, Tommy.
We're here and it's terrific. Sorry.
He loves fireworks. He loves fireworks. He would surely be having them tonight, the fireworks, on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Because that's how fireworks came about. Do you know this?
No.
The first Independence Day was a year before. And so a year later, someone designed fireworks as they became to be part of the celebration. So there you are. A little bit of history for you.
Beautiful.
That's revisionist. That is Guy Fawkes had fireworks.
Hey, should have. It'd be bloody good if we had him now, wouldn't it? Hey, someone else do that these day and age. Look,
I'd love to do that.
Yeah. Oh, bloody bunch of crooks in there, all right. Should have bloody made him a bloody lord, shouldn't they?
Very Paul Merton.
Why don't you do the bit where Ian Hislop closes his eyes? You do the Ian Hislop bit where he closes his eyes and looks like he's about to break the seal.
Break the seal.
Anyway, we have to move on because, drum roll please, in 1957, on July the 6th, take yourself back to Walton in Liverpool.
Yeah.
Take yourself back. There's a phaeton and there's some 2 youngsters milling about the place. One named John, one named Paul. Come on, Tommy, take us back there.
Well, I first met that woke baby, Paul, at the Walton Faith in 1957. I thought he was a shit bass player, but George said, George, shut the fuck up. John. I said, John, we should get Paul in the band. He's a great lad and he's a terrific bass player. And Paul, I guess, he got me through the start of my career. But here I am. I've ended up at my rightful place hosting GB News. And next, we've got Nigel Farage.
Lovely stuff. If you were thinking, what the fuck is going on there? In a previous episode, which we will link to, that one of the most commented, one of the most well-received, hardly anyone took the piss out of it or said it was shit, which was quite nice. I was surprised about that.
It was a good episode.
We talked about if John Lennon was alive today in 2024, how he would be on GB News, and maybe he would be very, very anti-woke and have a go at Paul for not eating meat and stuff like
Bloody
that.
vegetarian.
Yeah, exactly.
Red meat diet all the way.
So anyway,
baby.
Great callback. Adventures in Clubland. So, we will go straight into Adventures in Clubland.
Just quickly, did you see Usyk? Have you seen him dancing, the two-step techno dance that he does?
Usyk?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Alexander
The boxer.
Usyk, the boxer.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
He's so good at it.
Yeah.
The one who smacked out my son.
Yeah.
It's not an impressionist podcast. Maybe in a way it is.
I'm handing you over to James Paul Christian Bird, who may be talking about the old black and gold.
Okay, so we are going back to the mid to late 90s.
Oh, good times.
In a very, 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 very beautiful place called Wolverhampton.
No way.
Insert Larry David gif.
So we're going to talk about Robbie Keane and the 2 years that he spent playing for the first team at Wolverhampton. Now, Seb, you asked me to talk about this, and what I'm really, really happy with here is that I don't think you're fully aware of what you've asked me to talk about here, because I think it's an incredible story right from the start. So, Keane comes from Crumlin United, I believe they're called, in
Crumlin
Ireland.
United.
As a 16-year-old, he moves to Wolverhampton on his 16th birthday, actually. And he plays for a year in the youth team. So that's 96, 97. 98, Robbie Keane is still only 17 years old. When the start of that season.
So young, isn't it?
He's in the words of Fleabag, he's so young. He's so young. He's a young kid with a bit of acne and a sort of grade 3 on the sides and a little bit of curly hair on top. And the first time Wolves see Robbie Keane play, other than for the youth team, he scores a lot of goals in the youth team in that year before he makes it to the first team. And the first time they see him play is in Steve Bull's testimonial, which is a game at Molineux in front of 30,000 people against Santos.
Santos?
Yeah. So that's the first time Wolves fans see him. And I was having a look through, just going through the forums, actually, of people sort of talking about
your favourite past
previous times with Wolves. And there's two things that they said about Robbie Keane playing in that game. The first was that his shirt was far, far too big for him, and he was playing at a different level to anyone else on the pitch. And Robbie Keane at this point is 17 years old. Fast forward a couple of weeks. Wolves play against Norwich away, Carrow Road, on the first game of the season. And Robbie Keane starts.
They start him?
He starts the game.
Wow.
The manager, Mark McGee, at the time, had said that he'd been brilliant in the youth team the year before. And I mean, if I tell you who the other players were in that team, you start to see where we've got that, what we've spoken about a lot, crossing of the generation. So, Don Goodman, playing Steve Bull, Mike Stowell, Keith Curl. So this is Robbie Keane entering a team that's a little bit older, I would say, and is influencing a breath of new generation to it. Now, 34 minutes go in this game, in his debut, and big ball upfield. Don Goodman wins the header. Ball bounces once on the edge of the area, and who's there? Robbie Keane with his back to goal in one fluid movement, left-footed volley straight into the top corner.
Wow. Dream debut.
Dream debut, runs away. What's coming? The acrobatics are there straight away. He's still only 17. Scores his first goal, acrobatics. the Wolves, the away fans, you can hear it when you watch the video back now. The away fans are already all going, Keane, 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 Keane.
Brilliant.
Imagine that, 17 years old, first game, outside of the box. I mean, technically your weaker foot, your left foot, top corner, and you've got Steve Bull jumping on you. You've got Don Goodman, legends, especially with Steve Bull, our greatest ever goal scorer. And
it's mad, I loved his.
So they played all three of them?
Yeah, the way, they were all playing. Yeah,
I loved his accessible acrobatics.
Yeah,
because they were his acrobatics were the only ones you could replicate.
Well, I mean, actually, no, not at this point.
Oh, really?
No, it's fucking proper.
Did he used to do it proper?
Yeah, it's big. Anyway, 64 minutes. So it's Wolves 1-0.
Yeah.
64 minutes. Keane picks up the ball right hand side of the box. It's probably 3 Norwich defenders between him and getting anywhere near to a shooting position. Shimmers inside, does one, slaloms to the right, does the other, goes back to the left, does the other, pokes it through the goalkeeper's legs, and it's Wolves 2-0. So this is Robbie Keane's debut.
17, an hour in, he scored 2 goals. Away at Norwich as well, by the way.
Away at Norwich.
Very, very different types of goals.
The shirt is far too big for him still. He looks so young. Now, I was 7.5 on this day, and we were away, so I wasn't going. I was starting to go to games at this point. And my dad and my uncle had a ticket each, and me and my brother sort of shared with my dad. And that's how it was really the whole time we were in Wolverhampton, or up until I was sort of 15, 16. So we didn't go to the game, but I remember clearly on BBC WM, I think I must have been in the car with my dad. I remember clearly.
James, listen to the radio.
It's a goal!
Oh, wonderful.
And so I remember clearly that happening twice. And as I was going through I was looking at comments on a New York Times piece that Tim Spears, the Wolves, sort of former Wolves Express and Star reporter, and then Wolves for the Athletic reporter. And there was a comment in that said, I remember this. The WM reporter commented on goal number 1, saying that 17-year-old Robbie Keane has just scored on his debut, and he might not score a better goal if he plays for the next 10 years. And then, it's a goal, and the reporter said, forget that previous comment, he's just scored an even better goal. I remember hearing those in the car with my dad. Now, the other thing that I remember doing that exact day was going to see my nan, my mom's mom, who lived in Cannock, which is 25-minute drive away. And I remember on the way, we picked up a Pink. So the sporting paper that came out on a Saturday afternoon, and somehow, if we went to the game, somehow that would be updated, edited, printed, distributed, and ready to pick up from the post office, from the corner shop by the time we got home. It was all done in about half an hour, and it was an Express and Star aligned thing, so it was printed in Wolverhampton and then distributed. So I remember picking that up, turning straight to the back page, as I always did, going through all the results, looking at the attendances and seeing Keane 34, Keane 64. So that, for me, that's my memory of Robbie Keane, is that very first day, those 2 goals, hearing it on the radio and then reading it in the newspaper an hour after it had happened.
That's amazing.
Which people today will just think, what? That happened? The Pink, the Pink and things like that.
What an institution.
Pre-internet, obviously.
So, I mean, to finish off Robbie Keane, it's an adventure in clubland in terms of, what he did next. I think he scored 11 goals that season, 16 goals in the next season. He played the first 2 games of the season after that. And Wolves sort of said, we're not selling him unless a gigantic big bid comes in, and Coventry came in with 6 million. And we said goodbye to Robbie Keane, who I think you speak to any Wolves fan. Obviously it's slightly different because he was from the Republic of Ireland and not from Wolverhampton, but I saw a lot of people comparing it to when Wayne Rooney burst on.
That makes sense.
In the brilliant goals, quicker, looked like quicker, stronger, more agile than any of the other players on the pitch at that time, and sort of was a hit from the very start. There's 2 more, so that's the sort of his ending at Wolves, and he goes from Coventry to Inter Milan, and
11 million was that? 11
million, and his career continues from there. There's 2 more personal things that I will link to Robbie Keane's time at Wolves. So when you're sort of 7, 8, you still probably think that you can be a professional footballer.
Yeah.
And I vividly remember.
27 and 28, you still think?
Yeah. I vividly remember.
33.
Vividly remember in my old house, in the first house, saying to my dad, I'm going to be a professional footballer, Dad, when I grow up. And my dad saying, Jamie, I'm sorry to tell you, to be a professional footballer, you have to be perfect. And I'd obviously heard, I'd obviously heard at the ground people saying all sorts about different players, and I went, well, Mark Atkins isn't perfect.
Very good point.
In fact, some people think he's the very opposite of perfect. This, new words they've been saying. Winds of a sea.
Yeah, which I know that my dad...
That's incredible.
My dad still talks about now, like with his mates. If they're talking about football and their kids, he'll still say, like, I remember Jamie saying Mark Atkins isn't perfect.
If Mark Atkins is listening, he did win the Premier League with Blackburn.
There you go.
So, but yes.
If you're listening.
If you're listening, Mark.
If you're listening, Mark.
Give us a call.
Give us a call.
We'd love to hear from you. I know things haven't been great since, but we want to hear about your time at Wolverhampton. Simon's here as well. Well, the pontification of the rumination of...
The second thing is that, but I spoke to my mum just before coming in to record to double check that this was right. My mum...
You actually spoke to her on the phone, didn't you?
I spoke to her very quickly, but actually she was going for a wee at a service station, so it cut out.
Terrible reception at those places, to be fair.
Yeah. They are separate to society. Service station toilets.
And train station toilets.
Yeah.
Good God.
Good grief.
The amount of emergency calls you've had to make in them as well.
XP. Unexpected XP. Unexpected P would have been
good.
Better.
Unexpected P.
Yeah.
I remember, again, vivid memories of football when you're that age. I remember my mum used to work nights as a nurse in the NHS. Yeah. Famously founded the week this podcast goes out. And
not for sale.
Not for sale. Absolutely not for sale. And she used to go into town on like a Saturday afternoon, go shopping. She'd go to Next and whatever. Like Matilda, actually, my partner, recently went shopping with my mom and said it's a completely different experience. Because she's got things to take back, gift cards. Matilda says she came out of Next completely bewildered by how my mom had seemingly managed to spend no money but come out with more clothes than she'd gone up.
Sounds like my mom.
Anyway,
the
Wolves used to have a club shop in town. And I remember my mum coming home and being like, and I double checked with her just now, and I remember her coming home and saying what I thought was, and I was in the club shop, Jamie, and it was around children in need. There were a couple of the players in there, and I was like, whatever. And she was like, one of them was a really young lad, just a teenager, really, and he had spots and that, but he was there for children in need, and he gave me a massive hug whilst I was in there. Anyway, when I rang her just when she was going for a piss in the service station, I was like, Mom, just to double check, did you hug Robbie Keane in the club shop? And she went, it wasn't a hug, Jamie, it was a kiss.
Yes. Oh, that is wonderful. That is wonderful.
What she described it as actually was an Oklahoma kiss, and I don't really know what that means.
I have no idea.
No, neither do I.
God, it's not like a Cleveland steamer, is it?
I think it means she was trying to explain, but the signal was going as she was entering the toilet.
No.
I think it means he lent her back.
Oh, the Oklahoma kiss.
It doesn't say anything, but
oh my God.
On Urban Dictionary, when two touch after Mike and John gently Oklahoma kiss by pushing them together.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Do you know what my favourite bit about that is? Go back up. He's Googled it, and the fact that it's in bold when two touch. Anyway, there was a lovely moment between. There was a lovely moment between James's mum and Robbie Keane.
My 17-year-old Robbie Keane.
17-year-old Robbie Keane. When you described it then as like children in need, you made out it sounded almost like that Robbie Keane was the child in need.
My older brother as well, I'm not going to say famously, 'cause it's famous within our family.
Yeah.
For some reason, he used to hang around with, like, he lived in Manchester for a bit, and then he went to Walford College, which is in Shropshire. And I think it was a sports course. You'd cross over with some players who ended up being professional footballers. So he hung out with Matt Jansen a bit. For some reason, I always thought that was Robbie Keane. Matt Jansen isn't as cool. But anyway.
I think Matt Jansen's cooler than Robbie Keane.
Do you? He was a very good player. Anyway, 2 or 3 days before Robbie Keane signed for Inter Milan, my brothers told him on a night out, look, Robbie, I think you're a really good player, but you're not a top player. 2-3 days later, what was he, 21 years old, 20 years old?
To Inter Milan.
11 million to Inter Milan.
If anyone else is listening and has told a footballer that they don't think that they're very good, I'd love to hear your stories. And I'm not talking about just your shit from the terraces. I wonder if there's ever been a moment where,
like that patronising sort of knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, Robbie, look, I've seen you.
There used to be... At Hampton and Richmond, there was this lovely fella who ran the Supporters Trust. Lovely, lovely fella. But he had a real turn of phrase on him. And he asked one of the players, the new signings after training once, because I used to go to training during COVID and stuff, just because we were trying to do a bit more media stuff.
Yeah.
Keep it a bit more present. And at the end of the training, he went up to one of this new player who just signed. He was a bit raw, a bit nervous, new footballer coming into a new environment. And he said, what foot are you? What foot? What foot? What's your preferred foot, mate? And he went, left. And he went, really? You sure it's not your right? And he's like, yeah, I'm left-footed, really. And he was, I mean, that's not that good. And your right's not very good either.
Oh my God!
And he just said it to this player who was, he's getting paid 200 quid a week to turn up for training in the middle of nowhere. And he asked him what foot he was because he said I wasn't sure because he was so bad.
How did his career at Hamrich end up?
He's playing for Inter Milan now.
No. Admittedly, he was bombed out about 3 weeks later. That's a lovely Adventures in Clubland, and I think the thing about it is it's short and sweet, very sweet. 2 goals on your debut. Yeah, and remind also, talking about football and the moments that you remember purely through football. You remember being in the car because you were listening to the radio of a football match, so that event then takes you back to the car. So it's that link that football just pulls everything together, and in people like us, but also,
I don't think I'd be able to remember anything else from the age I was 7.
No, I would. No,
9. Other than those
pretty much
moments,
football
really.
things.
Yeah. Exactly. Beautiful. Anyway,
and Dolly the sheep.
Dolly the sheep, of course.
Yeah,
who could forget?
She would have been she'd have been 1 when Robbie Keane made his debut for Wolves. I wonder if she.
If you're listening, Dolly, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Give us a call. We want to wish you. Simon's here. He really wants to wish you happy birthday. Well.
All right, I'm Charlie Cooper. You might recognise me from BBC Show This Country, but I'm here to tell you how much I love Mundial magazine. For me, it's the fanzine of football, documenting the best of football culture forever. I'm very proud to admit I've been a long-term subscriber of Mundial for years now. But if you subscribe, you don't just get the magazine, right? You get loads of other perks, too many to mention, in fact. So join Club Mundial at mundialmag.com.
Let's move on to ins and outs. Ooh. Football, non-football ins and outs. Ins and outs is linked to a great feature in the end, the seminal fanzine from the mid-80s. We all say what's in or out, and as I'm the host, and normally it's Owen, I get to choose who, if they are actually in or out. And I'm going to go in first. The original source mint shower gel. Do you know which one I mean?
Yes, I do.
I fucking love it.
You've got to be careful with that.
You've got to be careful with it, yes, of course.
Certain places.
Yeah. No Oklahoma kissing with that.
Trust me, I've tried. Trust me.
No, but honestly.
Very dangerous.
No.
Very sore.
For whatever reason, it's been really busy, been hectic at work. The shopping, we hadn't organised a shopping thing. I had run out of shower gel for a good 3 or 4 days. And I kept using my daughter's really expensive, like honey-flavoured one and all this. And it was like, no. But honestly, the original source mint shower gel, it's my faithful friend.
Is it?
I love it. It just makes me feel clean. Makes me feel really clean. So that's my in.
Does it clean out your inner demons as well?
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ, mate.
I'd like...
Which ones? The upstairs ones or the downstairs ones? Because there's some demons down there, I tell you.
Either or.
So they don't call me slurry, you wait for nothing.
Same here, brother.
So that's in. That's the scene, obviously. Go on, Tommy. I like this one.
Shoes with shorts.
You mean like
Wallabies.
Brown...
Doc Martens.
Oh, I thought you meant like brown loafers.
I mean,
brown
that
pointy loafers.
Uh-huh.
Brown pointy shoes.
Base London with shorts. I think shoes with shorts is a really good look for the summer if you have some shoes that you are into and you don't want to stop wearing. What's the shop face for, James?
I think it looks like complete shit.
But then that's fine. It's not your choice. Socks or no socks?
White socks. I've done this for years. I've done it for years, and I will stick by it. I know there are some haters out there.
I've done this for years.
Yeah.
I've worn shoes with shorts for years.
Yeah.
Well, he's not a liar, is he? He's a man of the...
Not a liar. I'm just baffled by this.
Why are you baffled by
You would
it?
obviously put it... I'm putting it in.
Thanks, mate.
I'm putting it in. Versatility.
I've never seen James so disgusted at anything. Fucking hell.
Not for James, but it's in. It's in for me. I like it.
Thanks, Seb.
I mean, I wouldn't do it.
No.
Not with these pythons. No chance. White socks? Fuck.
Pythons?
Yeah.
Is that what you're calling your legs?
Well, that's what Owen calls them, isn't it?
I think he calls something else the python, Seb.
No, he doesn't. James, you're in.
Pimping up your drinks at home.
Go on.
Having ice
Yeah.
in the freezer.
Yeah.
Having some fresh mint.
Oh,
maybe,
I'm liking
going
this.
somewhere.
I'm liking this.
Turning your sort of evening soft drink, your squash, your fizzy something into something a bit more special.
Nice.
So really treat yourself.
Yeah.
As soon as you've had a bit of ice and a bit of something fresh, a slice of orange, slice of lemon, slice of lime.
Pimping.
Trying to pretend I don't like it, but yeah.
Yeah, we're all right here. We're all friends.
Sounds good.
In.
Sounds good.
Just
three things in.
Elevates it.
Three lovely things in. A bit of mint, but not too much mint because we do need some of the mint for the shower gel. Out. I'll be really quick with this one. Next door's cats. They've taken to not just hanging around trying to get the birds on the bird feeder, but now they're shitting on my lawn. So if anyone knows any friendly ways of moving cats away from...
If anyone knows any foxes.
Yeah. If
Actually, my cat does know a fox.
Yeah.
Oh,
bring
yeah.
them around.
One of your
I don't want fleas as well.
Would you like my cat?
Yeah.
Would anyone listening to this like my cat? In fact,
I will.
Two
I will.
unreliable
Very
owners.
lonely. Very lonely. I'll take it.
But yeah, oh God. So if anyone knows anything we set, I don't want to set traps or anything like that. But
you can't set a trap for a cat.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't want to do that.
No, you can't.
No,
I
it's
don't.
illegal.
I know. I'm saying I
do it for
don't want to
moles,
do that.
maybe.
What I'm saying is there any I've heard of some people say that if you go for piss in your garden, it makes them go away. Or,
Does it? Have you tried it?
I don't know. I've not tried it yet. But maybe
Did
I should
Owen
try
tell
it.
you that?
No.
No, Assad actually.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm a dog man as well, so it doesn't help. And I don't wish ill on cats.
I've counted traps out, and I've counted pissing on my own lawn out.
Yeah.
So if
anyone
got
doesn't
any
know
other
any
ideas,
friendly ways,
other than those two things,
yeah.
Any other ideas?
Any other ideas? Do let me know. Do let me know.
They are the first.
That's
two
obviously
things.
out. Tommy Stewart, come on, give us an out.
Oh, fucking train guys, man. I was
Unfunny ones, you mean?
So Bob Mortimer's sketch of train guys.
You mean actual IRL?
When you get a lot of trains and you have to experience them at fucking 7 a.m, who somehow think that their voice being louder than everyone else's at that time in the morning. I was over.
Ed's ears have perked up. He thinks you're the loudest person he's ever worked with.
That's true. That's true. But I stay quiet on the train. Yes, I stay quiet on the train because I'm paid to do this.
Exactly.
But he is not being paid.
No.
At fucking 7 a.m.
And there's plenty.
And I mean, right. I took my headphones off for a second because he was even getting through my noise cancellers.
Did you sigh?
No, I didn't do any of that.
Oh no, you should have done.
I thought, what's he talking about? And he was ringing someone just to go, oh, just checking you got my email, mate. Yeah, just checking you got my email. Are you you're across that now?
Yeah.
You don't need to do a call to say that. You just give him a fucking text.
No, true.
Taking up all the silence in the carriage.
No, I no, and there's plenty of...
We don't all care about your fucking job.
There's plenty of vestibules. Vestibules? Is that a word? Vestibules? I don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
There's plenty of them on trains. There's no excuse.
You can do it all on WhatsApp.
Do you know what I hate, right? The thing I hate the most on trains, with phone-related things on trains, is people that have the WhatsApp notifications on,
Bing!
and then have a shitload of messages.
Don't get me started.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Out.
Good.
Oh, God. Hang on.
What? What's wrong with that?
Just let people.
Are we going back?
No,
Are we going back in time?
They're being
Are we going back in time here? Feels like we're going back in time here.
Oh,
no,
God.
Don't worry. He's not moaning about the price of coffee again. James Bird, what is your non-football out of the week?
My dead leg that I've had for about a number of weeks now, since that fucking 6'8" fucking rugby player piece of shit ran into my standing leg and thudded his knee into it.
I've been told if you piss on it, you get better.
Like a jellyfish.
If anyone knows of any remedies for dead legs, it'll probably be shifted by the time that this has come through to you.
Well, I hope so.
Bloody hope so.
Well, do you know I was reading that Jack Grealish piece today, and he had a dead leg for a lot of last season.
Did he?
Yeah. So I'm just saying, from similar parts of the world. Similar types of players in many ways.
Yeah, similar.
Similar there. So.
Similar there, yeah. Similar hair, very similar hair. Tragic curtains. Football ins and outs. My in is the excitement. We are early July.
Yeah.
There's a big tournament happening somewhere that we haven't spoken about, I won't talk about. We might have done, and whatever's happened has happened, But there's pre-season friendlies happening. There's pre-season friendlies happening. It's the excitement of pre-season friendlies. Oh,
love it.
Sun's shining. It always feels funny watching football when you're in shorts and t-shirts and it's really hot.
Yeah,
I never quite get my head around it. It just so it almost feels like a different game almost.
Yeah,
and pre-season friendlies are a different game, aren't they? Because it's different.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very excited and in. I'm going to put that in, and it's in because I'm the host.
Seb, very quickly, because you've travelled. Planes, trains, automobiles, horseback to see Yeovil across the continent. Best pre-season friendly?
Probably the Bayer Leverkusen Academy, just outside the stadium. That was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Or Rot-Weiss Oberhausen was pretty damn good. Like a really old school athletics track, but yeah.
I saw Real Betis versus Marseille in Chesterfield Stadium, and Real Betis.
Sorry, what?
Real Betis have played the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Do they go to St George's Park?
They've played, I don't know, but they've played friendlies at Chesterfield Stadium.
We need to do a ghost game.
It must be a St George's Park thing.
I've been to 2
it's
of them.
Not far, isn't it?
It was last season. It was fucking Real Betis versus Middlesbrough, and I was about 10 yards away. I've got loads of pictures and videos of it.
Was Hector
just
playing?
No, it was quite a second string team. But the season before, Keane played, and. But the one last season was Middlesbrough versus Betis. So you had Manuel Pellegrini and Michael Carrick stood next to each other. Pellegrini in a full Betis tracksuit.
Wow. He looked amazing in that tracksuit.
Carrick in a full suit, full normal suit.
We need to delve deeper in
We've
this.
only the rep was the stadium empty and about 500 people there, and a lot of Betis fans had come over for it.
Amazing.
Fucking great.
We need to do something about that
We need
next
to do
time.
something about ghost game.
James, your football in?
Watching football in strange places full of neutrals.
Yeah.
I recently watched a football match, it was a playoff final, in a pub full of complete neutrals with my one friend who was a Leeds fan, and it's just great watching people watch a game that they don't really have any sort of weight in, but learning to support someone just because of the twos and throws of the game.
I like
that.
Nice.
In. Do that more.
Less of an aggressive atmosphere as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Go on, Tommy, in.
Mine's just my 7-a-side team, Sporting Homicida, and we've joined a...
What does homicida mean? Does it mean anything?
It's...
Homicide, actually.
Yeah.
We're called sporting murder.
Is it?
Don't know.
It's not, is it?
It's similar. It's not far from that. But it's there's an Italian lad in the team who's a Juventus fan, so he named the team. He started the team.
Sounds great.
And you don't know what it means?
Sign me up.
Yeah, it's along those lines.
Yeah,
Sporting homicide.
Yeah.
In.
Oh dear.
No, but I wanted to talk.
Lovely.
We've got a new badge. We've got pink New Balance kids, which are really nice. And we've got Village Books across the front, which is
nice one. Village Books. We like
kit.
Village Books.
Very cool kit.
Out. The actual reality of pre-season friendlies are just a bit shit, aren't they?
Yeah.
You get there and go,
awful
God, I've learnt nothing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Never seen a classic.
No.
Real Madrid versus Wolves. Neither of them are trying. I haven't heard of any of the players on either
25
side.
subs each team. Rubbish. Waste of time. That's out, obviously. Tommy Stewart?
Hamstring twinge, it won't go away. Every time, if I try and have a month off playing or something, it just, something can trigger it and it'll be either like 25% bad or 100% bad. But it's one of those injuries where you feel like you can play through it, so your mind and your body kids you a bit. But then obviously the more you play on it, the worse it gets. And I think it's just age. Kevin De Bruyne is around my age. He has it as well. So
Again, I think if you piss on it, it gets better.
Will you piss on it?
Yeah. Last out, James. That's out, by the way.
Thank you.
Missing sitters.
Missing sitters.
Oh,
Where
no.
did you miss said sitter?
I had 2 chances. We played against the best team in the league the other week. We played 7 men behind the ball. Basically played counter-attack football for an hour, and we did it in a way so that I would get a chance at some point during the game, and you've got to take that chance.
Being the bagsman these days.
Being the bagsman, and I missed the chance. It was exactly how we predicted
Still
it.
rankles now.
Let's
tell.
pull him in.
Get his face.
Pull him in. Long ball to one player. He plays it through. I'm past the defence. Just hit it straight at the keeper.
Definitely out. Anyway, this has been reminding you I love football. We've had a blast. The latest issue of the magazine is out. It's fucking brilliant. We say this all the time, but it is the best one. Go to mundialmag.com. Please leave a lovely review about this podcast as well if you love it. And we would be much appreciated because it really does make a big difference. Thank you once again to Tommy and James. It's been a pleasure. Thanks to Ed in the sound room, sound booth, and thanks to everyone at Spiritland. Thank you very much to everyone. Thanks for the support, and thank you very, very, very much.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Reminding You Why You Love Football is a Mundial and Football co-production. Produced by Tommy Stewart and Seb White, hosted by me, Owen Blackhurst, and recorded on the run.